Well, howdy y'all, I'm Cy Strikling and welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to test out the capabilities of my capture card with my mirrorless camera. This is actually going to be my Nikon Z6. And I just kind of wanted to take a look and see how it worked if I did things live with it, to kind of get a feel for future videos. So today I figured I would test it out with some macro photography. So I just picked some random objects from around the house to kind of try this with. My cats will make a bit of an appearance. And I hope you guys enjoy. So let's take a look. Alright, so here I am focusing in on the subject. The subject here is a cat toy. I did this all without audio while I was recording it, and then I figured I would just go through and voice over at the end. So you can see here, my method for focusing with macro is manual focus 100% of the time, and then a gentle rocking motion. So I try to get as close to where I think focus is going to be, and then slowly move forward and back away from and toward the subject until I get focus. So here you can see there's a very shallow depth of field with macro photography, and as you can see here, there's just a very small part of this picture that's actually in focus. So let's take a look at some more. Alright, so here we have the cat toy again. And my cat decided he wanted to play with it and wasn't happy that I had it. And off he goes. He took it and ran away with it. That's cats for you, huh? So here I switched to my Bluetooth mouse. And again, you can kind of just see that slow rocking motion kind of toward the subject, away from it, until I get just the right spot where I think it's in focus. And as you can see, even with doing that, you don't always get it in focus. Just the slightest movement forward or back is going to throw you off. So I switched to my Xbox controller. And there you see the focus was a little bit better. Now what I'm using here is a 70 to 300 millimeter lens. It's a regular zoom lens. And on that I'm using the Raynox 250 adapter. And what that does is it turns a regular lens into a macro lens. It kind of magnifies the view of what you're seeing. But with that, it's actually a lot more tricky to use than a regular macro lens because your magnification is actually greater than what a macro lens would give you. A macro lens is a 1-to-1 ratio. That means that on a full frame sensor, what you see through the camera's lens, you're going to take a picture of it at the same size of the subject is going to be the same size on your sensor. So with the Raynox adapter, you're actually getting a higher magnification than a 1-to-1. And with doing so, you're losing a lot of light. You're also limiting your depth of field even more. So it makes focusing extra hard. Alright, so this is the back of the controller. And as you can see, focus is better, flash is a little bit better. Lighting, like I said, is very difficult with macro photography. So as you can see here also, the settings that I'm using, they're very specific to me for macro. I want my f-stop, which is currently at 14. I want that to be a slightly higher number. So this lens that I switched to here is the Tamron 90mm macro lens. This is a true macro lens now. And this one has the capability to go down to an f-stop of 2.8, which means you're going to get a very shallow depth of field with that, which means you're going to only have a very small spot that's in focus while the rest of your subject is blurred out. So with that, even though this has the capability to go down that low, which would be great for like portraits or something like that, on macro photography, I want that number to be higher. So that's why that number is f14. The shutter speed I have up, it's at 200. I want to have the shutter speed a little bit higher. It kind of takes out some of that motion blur so that I don't get more blur in my picture than I need from just slight handshake or anything like that, since most of this I'm doing handheld. And then my ISO is at 800. I don't like to set it too high or really to set it on auto too often because macro is very low light to begin with. You lose a lot of light when you're using these kind of settings. when the camera's on auto, even with the flash on, it's still going to raise your ISO super high, even if it doesn't necessarily need to because of the flash. And because of that, if your ISO goes too high, you're going to get a super noisy or grainy picture. It's going to look all pixelated, and we don't want that. Okay, so there's another image of the back of that controller. This is similar to the picture we just took before. Alright, turned over the controller. And taking some pictures of the thumbstick now. So as you can see, I try to get the camera just in position, slowly move away from the subject until it's in focus and take the picture. You'll also notice there for a second that the image was blue. That's actually focus peaking. It's a feature on some mirrorless cameras. And what that does is it just kind of illuminates your subject in a certain color, whichever color you pick, to let you know or to help you out to figure out when you're in focus. It's very useful for macro photography. It's not available on all cameras, mostly only mirrorless, and even then not all mirrorless. And that feature only works in manual focus. Okay. So here I took out my cell phone. I'm going to try to take a picture of the camera and the flashlight on the back of the phone. So there we have that picture. So again, you can see how depth of field is very shallow. So my flashlight is in focus, but pretty much the rest of the picture is out of focus. Okay, and then that's the lens cap from the Tamron 90mm lens. I thought it just kind of looked cool. It's always neat to see different things in different perspectives. You can see there's heavy wear and tear on that lens cap. Alright, so here I switched over to a bottle cap. This was an IBC root beer bottle cap since we don't drink. Alright. So here we have the underside of that bottle cap. And with the flash, you get a really cool contrast to it, and it's really nice to see how you can get that detail from the underside of the bottle cap that you normally wouldn't really notice with the naked eye. And then I flipped it over and did the other side. And it's just a really cool shot, and macro is also a really great way to do product photography. You can get some really awesome product shots with a macro lens. So then I switched over to my headphones. Figured I would try those just because, why not? And that is the Razer logo on my headphones. And again, you just get a really cool shot. Again, it's also great for product photography. Alright, so here we have some cat litter. I just kind of grabbed some cat litter. It's clean. And just kind of spread it out on my mouse pad to kind of take a look at it. Okay. So then I switched to the 70 to 300 again with the Raynox 250 to get super magnification. Kind of zoomed in on it to take a look. And there's the final image. Alright, so keep in mind that these photos in this video are all unedited. They're just straight out of the camera, hitting the play button on the camera to just preview them on the LCD screen. So a lot of these pictures would look different if I actually went through and edited them. I'm really not going to do that either. I'm not really that worried about it. This was kind of just a test. But I did just kind of want to see how things went, and this really did work out well. So thanks for coming, everybody. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like. Also, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Leave me some comments down below. Also, if you have any questions or concerns or tips on how I can improve these videos for you guys. Thanks again for coming, y'all. Have a great day. I'm Cy Strikling, and I'll see y'all later.